Border Patrol is calling this a transitional camp or a transitional shelter. This is not a permanent solution or a temporary housing area. Right now you can see that there is in excess of 100 people underneath the Paso del Norte bridge. We're going to zoom in a little bit to try to show you these individuals who are lining this fence. I'm here on Hondo Pass right off of US 54 across from the Border Patrol substation. You can see the tan canvassing of these new series of tents that have been put up. It is off in the distance, but we were able to get some aerial shots for a closer look of these tents. We're here in East El Paso. There are still a handful of people here at La Morena over here on the east side, still feeling that election buzz with Art Fierro's win. We're actually joined by the state representative-elect, Art Fierro. Art, congratulations. Yeah, Shelton, you can see behind me this tree was uprooted here on the east side in front of this home that's on Camwood Drive, that's right near Montwood. And I'll tell you what, the winds are starting to pick up here. Yeah, that's right, Erica. We are down here in Las Cruces. Winds have definitely calmed down a little bit. We got our wind gauge here. They've been anywhere from 4 to 10 miles an hour, but up in St. Augustine Pass, they were up to 100 miles an hour earlier today. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAlean says that the decision to release the migrants is contradictory to the agent's goal. We're here on San Ysidro Road here in Socorro, right off of Alameda. You can still see crews are working to fill that sinkhole and drain all the water out of this neighborhood. The Texas Anti-Gang Center conducted 3 busts during the 6-month-long investigation, one of them happening here at Cielo Azul, another on Clems Road, and Sheffield Drive here in Socorro. Abundant Living Faith Center tells me that the space that was leased out by the Annunciation House is an estimated 125,000 square feet. To give you an idea of what that looks like, it would have to be a space this big. Some school districts like EPISD say they don't throw out some of their unused food, rather they give it to nonprofits like the Opportunity Center. But a school district in Indiana is getting a lot of attention with what it's doing with its unused food. It's turning that into take-home meals for low-income students on the weekends. Some people think that should be done here. The number of migrants seeking asylum has certainly dwindled here at this transitional center here underneath this international bridge in South El Paso. El Paso Border Patrol says that this center had to be put up because of the large number of apprehensions we've been seeing in our area. But it's not meant to temporarily house migrants. It's just to ensure that they get through the process of asylum.
I just think this is a humanitarian issue.
10 sets of feet heading toward hundreds of others underneath the Paso del Norte bridge, the most recent spot where a large group of migrants are seeking asylum.
I don't want to see people just stuck under a bridge being processed. It's hot as hell out here.
It looked to me like, and I don't know, but it looked to me like they're housing them there overnight. They're sleeping on concrete, and they have the little silver blankets for warmth, and there was quite a lot of people in there.
It may be uncomfortable and open, in a tent-like. I said, at least I'm glad they're being sheltered and they're actually enjoying the benefits of amnesty and refugee status.
Border Patrol says the Canvas Tent Transition Center is meant to help with the asylum processing due to the large amount of apprehensions. As migrants arrive, they'll wait in the tent for their turn to be processed. Some feel there has to be a better way.
And it's tough because you don't want to see this. Nobody wants to see this. But we're also, again, it's America. We have rules.
Border Patrol says this isn't temporary housing for the migrants.
It's not the best ideal, potentially shelter, but I didn't see, I think what I saw is people are happy that at least they're being assisted.
Well, if it's the process, then I guess we all got to do what we got to do. I would tend to disagree. Like I said, I've never been in their shoes before.
For nearly a week, Customs and Border Protection has been releasing migrants on top of ICE's releases. This influx of hundreds of migrants per day is putting a strain on resources here in El Paso. But there's a plan to make sure this situation is easier to bear. For roughly a week, hundreds of migrants are being released by ICE and Border Patrol by the end of a single day. Annunciation House Director Ruben Garcia says this is causing issues for El Paso.
And I met with Border Patrol and they explained to me that they did not have the ability, the capability to transport people out of El Paso, that the releases would all have to take place in El Paso.
But migrants could soon step into a different place after they're released.
This past weekend, we were able to announce that we have been a part of finding a warehouse facility where the families can now be taken without being put in hotel rooms.
It gives us the cushion to receive a higher number of refugees.
Charles Neiman of the Abundant Living Faith Center says the warehouse rented by the Annunciation House will be a central location for migrants. He also says it will make it easier for volunteers to provide aid to these people. Abundant Living Faith Center tells me that the space that was leased out by the Annunciation House is an estimated 125,000 square feet. To give you an idea of what that looks like, it would have to be a space this big.
We've always felt like our position in the community is to, step up and do what we can. By no means do we think we can do everything, but, we try to do the best.
That is an example of the cross-denominational support of churches who are saying we have to respond to all of these human beings.
Questions and demands were rifled off left and right at the safety community meeting held at Eloise off of Shadow Mountain. Some were even calling for Mesa Street to be shut down near the Cincinnati Entertainment District when there's a lot of people out and about at night. El Paso Police, the city of El Paso, and TxDOT all said that they're doing what they can with what they have.
Why wouldn't you do the same thing in that area? I mean, it only makes sense, right?
Just have a safe zone where everyone can have fun, right? Who do we need to talk to make that happen?
What can be done with existing resources in the shortest amount of time?
A lot of suggestions were made on how to make the Mesa and Cincinnati intersection safer at a community meeting in West El Paso. Many of them coming from friends and family of Amanda Ferguson Wyant, who was killed in a hit and run on Thanksgiving.
Look at other cities where they have a huge drinking culture. Look at New Orleans, look at Austin, 6th Street, Bourbon Street. They're completely closed to the public at nighttime. They don't allow traffic, where there's going to be a lot of people drinking. We can do something like that.
The solution needs to be done is some way to stop the vehicles and drunk drivers driving through this intersection. They're going to be drunk drivers, but there needs to be some type of barrier, whether they're train crossings that come down.
TxDOT says it will look at all possible solutions.
As this state entity, we can't really speak to law enforcement, but we will work with the city of El Paso to see what can be done there.
One idea is an underground walkway to protect people from oncoming traffic.
The short term, unfortunately, isn't short enough for Cameron Wyant at this particular time, or for Dan Ferguson.
And if it doesn't happen immediately, I'm going to find a lawyer and I'm going to sue both these cities. It's not the officers.
But we can take a look at what we can do in terms of lighting, traffic calming measures. We can take a look and see if there's anything that we can do in the short term that can help prevent another tragedy.
But we want to know other ways that we can band together as a city to make sure that no one ever has to suffer the heartache that the Ferguson families had to suffer.
We depend on the buses.
Sun Metro Bus Route 4 means a whole lot to Deirdre MacArthur and others at the Opportunity Center for the Homeless.
A lot of us don't have an income, including me. And resources for bus tokens or taxi vouchers are limited with the budget here.
But Sun Metro has decided to charge for a route that previously was free. CBS 4 problem solvers asked the city how, and more importantly, why the change was made. The city tells CBS 4 the streetcar now services the area where Route 4 and Route 9, which was also free, were located. Due to this new service, Route 9 was discontinued and Route 4 was expanded to Sunset Heights. The expanded route is what led the city to add the fare.
I felt like you've got to be kidding me. That bus was free for how long? We can't afford a soda from the soda machine, let alone $1.50 for the bus.
CBS 4 problem solvers went to find out from the deputy director of the Opportunity Center to find out what can be done to help those who live there. He tells us there's a solution for now.
We have a wonderful young lady that works with us here that has started a small fund so that we can buy bus tokens or bus passes, but that's really a short-term solution.
Martin tells CBS 4 a long-term goal is still unknown. The Opportunity Center's goal is to get people like MacArthur back on their feet. This fair is a major hurdle for that goal.
The closer you get to that goal, the more things you have to do to get there, like different appointments. And it's very important to keep appointments. If you don't, that's 2 steps